Welcome back to TYT Sports. Winners and losers. Cenk's concept that sports players can be broken down largely to winners and losers, except for the 8 gazillion people who he's suddenly thrown out or in the middle. Basketball players.
But there's some great winners like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all the classics, Michael Jordan, and some of the classics. And I would say Jason Terry from last year, even though he's not a star player, but he put him over the top because he's a winner. I would put Rajon Rondo in that category.
Doc Rivers, winner.
Totally.
Total
But Doc
winner.
Rivers is a winner.
And about the no longer big three, but still described big three, that Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce must also then be winners.
No, that's the thing, right? You could be on a winning team and have nothing to do with the victory.
Okay, but so Paul Pierce, winner or loser?
The jury's out on that. I mean, I guess it'll
career's almost over.
I know it's almost over. I guess in other words, I don't know. Okay, I don't know about Paul Pierce. I know about Rondo. I know about Doc Rivers. I know Popovich is maybe the biggest winner in the country. Takes what is okay talent and always gets the best out of it, and will win over and over and over again because he's a great coach and he knows how to win. Can I get you to at least come to Charles Smith being a loser?
Oh, Charles Smith's a loser.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So I mean, you got 6 shots at 1 foot in a key moment in an NBA playoff game. Yeah.
I think that the over/under is if you get blocked 5 times in a row, then you automatically become a loser.
But, we had
in a
this
key
long debate.
playoff
Sorry,
game.
go ahead, Jay. We'll get back to it.
It's the last, I guess, element of which I think about because we're fans. And then you have a guy who's potentially winning because he wins championships. I mean, multiple championships. He's around other winners. He's around a winner coach. All these things are in place. And he's won, and he's done well, right? He's been an intricate part of the system. Kobe Bryant. Because so many people hate this guy for other things he's done and the way he is.
Me.
It makes you kind of want to say this guy's a loser, but isn't that hard to say?
No. So Kobe Bryant, and now people are their heads are gonna explode, okay? Because how many championships does he have? 5, right?
3 with Shaq, 2 without.
Right, 2 without, right. Loser. Okay, all right.
I can't stand the NBA, but I know from afar that Kobe Bryant is a winner.
By the way, I'm going to get you in my camp later. You know who's a winner in hockey? Mark Messier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Because look, here's how I can tell. I don't know anything about hockey. No. I don't know
Wayne
anything.
Gretzky.
No, but listen. No, I don't know anything about
the
hockey.
Kings, loser.
No. But here's what I know. Wherever Mark Messier went, all of a sudden championships started sprouting up. That's a coincidence? No, that guy knows how to win. And is he the best player? Not even close, I would imagine, right? Talent-wise?
No, but
he was great, but he wasn't.
He's a great player.
Right, but he wasn't the best in the NHL. But somehow he always won the championships.
One of the best in the NFL.
Right. And is it Scotty Bowman? Who's a great coach?
Scotty Bowman's
Wherever he goes, all of a sudden
That's a great
championships.
example of a coach.
Okay, winners.
I was going to say it, but I didn't think anyone would have heard of
Right.
Scotty Bowman.
All right, look at me pulling out Scotty Bowman.
I know. Where the hell did that come from?
Right. So Kobe, look, it turns out it was Phil Jackson. Okay, because before Phil Jackson came, Kobe's like, I'm going to take every shot. And then what do? They lose, right? Phil Jackson settles them down, gets them to play team ball. They win.
Phil Jackson the second time around. Without Shaq. After Shaq.
Yeah. And with Shaq, too. Right? It was all Phil Jackson. So, and then...
Really, I'm going to think it was Shaq a little.
No, of course, they're great players. And under Phil Jackson, they're going to do terrific, right? Phil Jackson leaves, and Kobe's back to being the same idiot who jacks up 2 for 10 fourth quarter shots.
It's just
he doesn't. It's just that Phil got him to play the right basketball. But without Phil Jackson, he's like, oh, I got it. I'm going to be a hero. And then boom, air ball off the back of the rim.
I mean, the talent level went down in general, mainly because also departing when Phil Jackson left the first time was Shaq, the best center of this generation. By far.
Yes, so I wouldn't have said Kobe's a loser at that point because the data indicated that, hey, you don't know. It could be Kobe, it could be Phil. Likely if it's Phil, but you don't know. Kobe and Shaq were terrific.
Is he by far better than Tim Duncan?
Yes. Shaq was just a dominant, impossible to stop.
I don't know.
And Tim Duncan's power forward.
And better than...
They're calling him the best power forward of all time. He's not getting the center label.
What about Karl Malone?
And Olajuwon also.
Number 2.
Malone loser, Duncan winner.
Okay,
all right. Anyway, and then with Phil Jackson, he wins again. Phil Jackson leaves, and he's an idiot again. So it's not Kobe. It's clearly Phil Jackson.
I think that it's possible that Kobe benefits from a strong coaching hand that he respects. I don't think that the mere fact that he has not won a championship without Phil Jackson.
He will never win
one without
Phil Jackson.
I love any show that I participate in that calls Kobe Bryant a loser.
Right, yeah. And
Too
look,
exciting.
his only chance of winning is if he magically winds up on a Popovich-led team. Okay. Otherwise, from now on, for the rest of time, Kobe will jack up nonsense shots in the fourth quarter and lose every time in the playoffs.
Robert Horry, winner or loser?
Winner, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, it's a lightning round?
Yeah, winner, no
Big,
question.
But we argue about this. I mean, Robert Horry is a marginal player who means nothing and did not contribute in a significant way
Except
to those teams.
in all the times that it matters.
Yeah, except he hit a bunch of big shots. But I
mean,
mean, again, anytime you take 80 shots of Robert Horry's career, yeah, and he hit in those big moments, he hit 39 of them instead of when he usually hit 32 of them. Like, it's tough to break it down to percentages. Robert Horry got lucky. He's a good shooter. He got lucky. He was unafraid. But they're all unafraid. I don't think that anybody
not true.
who
I
played
think
in
a
a high
lot of
school
them are
championship
afraid.
game, go to college.
afraid?
He played in, hold on. He played in game, they play in
Bobby
other game
Brown?
sevens. They play in other game sevens. They'd have these big moments. They play in the AFC and NFC championship games. I don't believe that professional athletes then got to the Super Bowl and were like, and
No.
Robert Horry is a skilled shooter who was calm and nailed most of those shots.
I think even LeBron gets a little afraid.
One more, very quickly. I know that you brought this up last week, but John Paxson.
Neutral. I think that on any other team, he's a useless player. God bless his heart. Jordan gives a winning attitude to the whole team and says, I believe in you. And I think you're going to make that shot. I'm going to give it to you every time. And John Paxson makes the shot.
So what's between Paxson and Robert Horry then?
Well, Robert Horry did it on many different teams in many different circumstances and won like 28 championships. So no, and it's that he did it in different circumstances. Paxson did it in one circumstance. Jordan gives you the ball, you shoot it, it goes in. Right?
Well, a rising
Wide
tide
open.
lifts all ships, as they say. So anybody who played with a great player like a Michael Jordan
More
or a
likely
Wayne
to be a
Gretzky
winner.
or a Joe Montana, more likely to be a winner.
Sure,
by
but
the way,
no,
the
but
winning-
that's why I'm saying John Paxson, as terrific as he was in all those games, is neutral. Robert Horry did it in many different circumstances, winner.
Well, here, let me give you.
And
an
I would
example.
actually
Let-
put Derek Fisher in the winner
Let me go to
category,
Mark
too.
Messier again. I happen to know two people who played with Mark Messier, who played in the Stanley Cup. One with the Stanley Cup with him. One person was traded away when he got there. And they said he changed the
Right.
dressing room because of attitude and because of confidence.
Exactly.
You know.
And right, and I don't think that's said about many people.
No.
I think, and that's where I would draw my winners and losers, where you factor in, did they really lift the spirit of that team? And although I don't really agree that I think Derek Fisher incredibly lucky, and when we saw him sort of out on his own in Golden State or in Utah, right? You know, this was a fairly ordinary player.
Yeah, he's
But-
not a great player, no question. But that's
they
why
do-
he's a winner.
But you will find in the locker room, everybody says, no, it matters to have fish in the locker room.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what makes a winner, not great talent.
And the big difference is guys who played with let's say Gretzky and Messier, and this goes to Peyton Manning maybe a little bit, have said, and I've heard that, said it to me. The difference was with Gretzky, you knew how good he was. So you knew that you just had this confidence that you'd be okay and you just ride his back and things would happen all right. But if he was having an off game, the team was unprepared for it. With Mark Messier, everybody knew their role, and they had to live up to what he wanted, which is a big part of it. And I think with Peyton Manning, that's a big part of it.
All right, so in the end, we all agree. Winners and losers are real. Dave is the constant skeptic. And you know what? He's the exception that proves the rule.